Dan Perry here with another Dan on Tech Python video. In our last video, we introduced the concept of a nested if, or nesting or placing one structure inside of another. We said that that was not necessarily the most elegant way of doing things. So what we're going to do is look at another way of doing these structures for this type of problem. And if you look here, we have the if, and we've got an if, an if, an if from last time. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to look at it a little bit differently. So I've taken out part of it, and I've got to think about the order. If I start small to larger scores for what we're about to do, I'm going to end up with something that doesn't work right. There's the concept of an else if, or else, or elif, E-L-I-F. It is on the same level as your if statement from an indenting, and so I can say if this is true, do this, otherwise, or else if, check a different condition. And if I were to go score greater than 70 and then have grade equal C, we're going to have a problem. And that problem is, once this if evaluates as true, it will never check the else if. So only checks the else if this evaluates false. If I were to go low to high on this, I'm not going to be able to ever get to the 70. So what I'm going to do is change this, and I'm going to start at 90, and I'm going to say if the score is greater than 90, then the grade is an A. Else if, or otherwise, I'm going to look and see if the grade is greater than 80, and I'm going to do a B. If we left it here, whenever the score is greater than 90, it will go in and set the grade to A, and it will skip everything else in this if structure. So it won't even look at the other else ifs. If the grade is not greater than 90, then it's going to come down and it's going to look at this else if. If this is false, look at this. And this else if says, if the score is greater than 80, set it to a B. Right now, if the score was less than 80, or 80 or less, it would jump down to the F because we've not completed the command. So to complete it, I'm going to come in here and copy this. I'm going to copy it a second time because I know I'll need it one more time. I'm going to say, okay, if the score is less or greater than 70, I want a C. And if it's greater than 65, I want a D. When we run this, it will go through each of these ifs or else ifs in order until it either matches one, or if it doesn't match any of them, it will do the else. So let's try this program and see if it works. I'll start with a score of 95, and it says the grade is A. It went in. This was true. Since that was true, it set the grade to A, and then it skips down and skips the rest of those statements in the structure. Once it has executed whatever statements happen to be in the true part, it skips the rest of the structure. Let's run it now with another score, and let's try 85. And now it says the grade is B. So it went in here, hit this if, this was false, so it skipped down here to this else if. This was true, so it entered the structure, set the grade, and then it would skip the rest of the commands. We'll try it now with a 70, or 75 rather, and it gave the grade as C. Let's try it with a 67. The grade is D. And when we did that one, came in here, this was false, so it skipped, false, so it skipped, false, so it skipped. This was true, so it went down, set the grade to D, skipped the else, and printed out the grade as D. We still need to make sure the final else works. So let's put a 50. The grade is F. So once again, checked. This was false, skipped, false, so it skipped it, false, false. And since all of those were false, it entered the else and did whatever command was in the else. This example, we had a single command there. There could be hundreds of lines of code, and there could be nested structures in there as well. So that is the if-elif or else-if structure, and that's very handy when we're wanting to look at things in different ranges, but you have to be very careful of the order. Had we started it at the 65 like we did with the if statement, we would have never reached any of those statements. Thank you for watching this Dan on Tech video. Please subscribe to this playlist so you don't miss future videos. Please check out and subscribe to our other Dan on Tech channel playlists.